How's it going, guys? JP here, and welcome to week number 24 here on Body Bags. The film that I'm going to be reviewing today is not a themed film. We're back to the regular week again. I took all the films, all the DVDs that I have that I haven't watched yet, threw them in a randomizer, and whatever pops up is kind of what I've been watching here on Body Bags. So this time, Frankenstein popped up. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from the year 1994 with a tagline of "Be warned, it's alive." So it kind of uses that classic "It's alive" line for the tagline. So I'm not very familiar with Frankenstein in general. I haven't seen. This is the first version I've actually ever seen, besides like knockoff, like cartoon versions of Frankenstein and stuff like that. He's an iconic character, so you know the story. Like, I've seen him in other things, and just there's so many. He's so ingrained in pop culture that the story has popped up in many other things. So I know the basic gist of the Frankenstein story, but I don't know the source material. I don't know the original film. I don't know the Universal film or the original, the 1920s version. I don't know any of that stuff. So I'm basically judging this film as its own film, not taking into account any other versions of Frankenstein. So, with that said, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein follows Victor Frankenstein, who is he wants to change the world. He's a guy with a lot of ambition. We follow him right away. His mother is dead, and he's really pissed off by that. He thinks it's so unfair that people die, and that's kind of his inspiration for science and medicine and healing and going beyond that. And he feels that they're on the edge of all these new discoveries, and if they just take a step forward and not care about, basically throw caution to the wind and just kind of do whatever it takes to get to these next steps of science and medicine, he thinks that they're really close to something huge. So he goes to some sort of university. He leaves his I don't know, I guess it's his girlfriend, but they keep calling each other brother and sister, so I don't know if that's actually like something that I'm missing, or they was really brother and sister, or that's just kind of what they did, but it was kind of weird and they didn't really elaborate on it too much. So he moves away. He in some sort of university. This is actually a very big type of movie. Like, the scenes are really big. Like, the buildings that they shoot in are very grand and just very big, and they pop. They're very noticeable. The buildings that they shoot in. So even like the school buildings, the classroom is set up so weird with multiple levels, and it's just It is kind of visually stimulating. It really looks good. Some of the scenes in the exterior, the fields and the forests and stuff. It really is pretty cool to see. So he kind of is interested in this other scientist who's I believe a professor at this school. And he sees that this guy has been close to creating something, some kind of experiment. Basically, that guy dies, and he pretty much takes over his notes, even though the guy originally did not want his notes to be, the ideas in his notes to be expanded upon. You get the sense that he's tried some kind of experiment before, and I think I believe he even says, it was an abomination. So, throwing the warning from the other professor guy away, Victor Frankenstein decides to move forward with creating a life out of parts from other people, and he creates Frankenstein. One night when it's storming, he, puts the full plan in motion. You know, electricity is the key. Frankenstein is born, and pretty much instantly he realizes he made a mistake. Well, I guess Frankenstein isn't born, it's Frankenstein's monster, but he's kind of, over time, the name, even though originally it wasn't Frankenstein, it's almost to the point where now it pretty much is. The monster is pretty much almost known as Frankenstein now. So it's a common mistake by people, including myself. So yeah, I am all over the place in this review. Sorry, this is kind of a big film. Kind of has a lot going on. I thought that right away the way he instantly kind of realizes he made a mistake, I thought it was a little too soon. It didn't really show his, the idea behind why it was such a bad thing that he did, and I just, he was so into it. It just seems like a complete shift of a character change, which it felt a little too sudden. Frankenstein basically wants to kill the monster, or at least get rid of it somehow. He's hoping that it dies off. There's an some kind of disease spreading through the town back when, one disease can wipe out an entire town. It's being quarantined, and he pretty much is hoping the Frankenstein monster just dies. Meanwhile, he doesn't die. He kind of learns from people out in the woods. He's spying on a family. He becomes, literate, and so on and so on. And he kind of does drop a line later where it wasn't so much that he learned stuff, he just remembered it, because he's from other people, he's made from other people. By the way, it's played by Robert De Niro, which I found really odd. It was like an odd performance. It worked, but it was just it was so not used to seeing Robert De Niro like this type of character. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the story. It's pretty entertaining, honestly. It really is. I had fun with this. There's a few things that got on my nerves a bit. Like, I know that you have to have the love story and things, but it just didn't really work for me. I didn't feel it. I didn't really feel like these characters truly were, in love with each other. I mean, they said they were, but I didn't feel any kind of chemistry with them. I really liked the scenes where the monster was observing a family in the woods, and then the scene where he kind of meets one of the family members who's blind. There's tons of commentary in the Frankenstein story about everything from, man creating things and, not to play God, and, the social classes, and, the way you look affects the way you're perceived, stuff like that. I mean, it's in there. It always has been, and good messages in Frankenstein. So you can't really, it's not really a negative. I didn't really, they went for a more realistic look to Frankenstein. I almost kind of like the other look, the classic Universal look. I don't know if it would have fit in this film, though, but it might have. I'm not sure. I did like the ending. I like how he doesn't really have a name, and it kind of almost offends him that he wasn't even worthy of a name. Pretty good movie. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. It wasn't amazing, but it also was pretty entertaining for my first, Frankenstein film. I give it a 7 out of 10. A lot of good scenes, the cinematography is good, the setting and locations are good, the set pieces, the acting is pretty good all around. I really like the forest scenes. That was my favorite part of the movie. So yeah, they also have, going to the North Pole. There's some scenes of, with ice and stuff that I thought looked pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, Frankenstein, what can I say, 7 out of 10. Sorry for the review that's all over the place. I really don't know how to tackle this film, and so much to really, digest in this one. So, peace out, guys. I'll see you guys next week for week number 25. So, peace.